Welcome to Terra Juno Painting Stuff. In this video, we'll be plein air painting in the Clearcuts. We'll be starting the day working on this little 12x9 painting of a clear-cut road and getting started on this painting of Mount Benson in the afternoon. I'm in a clear cut today and I'm going to be doing this neat little composition with a road. And it's about 1 kilometer into the clear cut on a gravel trail. It's a bit tricky to get to my particular spot. I'm on a hill that is covered in thorns and fallen logs and roots. The path to the area that I want to paint is a lovely mossy forest. Small streams of water run between trees. I decided to set up on this hill to get a view of this road running through the clear cut. I even found a nice tree stump to set up on. Yeah, is that your seat now? So it can be a bit tricky setting up in a clear cut. The ground is so uneven and thorny. Here's just a little behind the scenes. I have the umbrella stuffed in the bark of the stump. The camera tripod is kind of stuffed in a bunch of cracks as well. One of the things I have to decide on is what format I want to paint in. I have a few different viewfinders here. I have a square and a couple of different rectangles. I kind of just close one eye like that, and then I look into them and sort of figure out what I find the most pleasing. There are some elements I want to move around in this composition. I'm going to be changing around these two larger trees in the foreground, and I'm going to be bringing some of that blue from the mountain over as well to contrast with all of the subtle golds and oranges happening in the foreground. Here's my drawing. It is really nothing too fancy, and I'm just gonna wipe away some of these lines that might show up on my lighter areas. I'm not concerned about the darker areas. The paint will cover that. I'm going to start by laying in some color washes. So this is going to be like the under color of what I'm going to be intending my final color to be. It's going to be a little bit more dark and transparent than my intended color. And I'm going to put a bit of this medium in. It's just Damar varnish and walnut oil with turpentine. I just put a little bit in the color wash. The reason why I do this is sometimes I leave the color wash showing a little bit, and that helps with strengthening that paint layer. Sometimes that paint layer is just not going to be gone over, and I don't want it to be too thin and weak. So I'm gonna get going back in here. And I'm just mixing some azo green and phthalo green in there, and that's not its final color, but I am really in a turquoise kind of way lately. I've been putting a lot of turquoise colors on my palette, and I'm adding a bit of yellow ochre in to get a bit more of a yellow green. I'm kind of hoping the sky clears up a little bit. It's overcast today, but it's also clearing up a little in spots, so I don't want to make the sky too gray in case I do get some clear periods. And I'm taking the sky from different places. It does get considerably grayer over there. And you tend to see like patterns in the sky, in the cloud cover, just because of the mountains. So I'm getting a lot more gray to the left, and I feel like that is going to kind of stick for the day, that gray. Okay, you're gonna have to scoot over there, girl. Make some space. Okay. So here's what I have so far. I'm laying in some foundation work, and then I'll be working into it with more detail. Right now I'm going to take the opportunity to take off some of this stuff. So when you're plein air painting, a lot of debris gets on your work, and it's sort of something you kind of have to get used to. If you are a meticulously tidy person, plein air painting is probably not for you because you're just never going to be tidy. You're going to be covered in paint. I'm putting some straight burnt sienna on here. I'm going to be mixing it with a bit of yellow ochre. And now I'm mixing in some transparent yellow earth into my mixture. is the progress I've made so far. I've spent a lot of time tinkering around on the background, but that's kind of what I really enjoy, other than the curve of the road coming through. I really like the blue-green background, and you kind of start with a larger brush and you just need to put in some of the little tree line details at some point. I feel like that kind of sets it off. But I'm going to continue on this painting because the weather is actually pretty nice and there seems to be less people walking through. So Emily is quite calm right now. She's just sitting in the sun. Hell hath no fury like a bored Jack Russell. Hey girl, drop it. I had been sitting on that stump for so long that I became part of the terrain, and all the critters started to let down their guard around me. I have beetles crawling on me. I was able to find them all, I hope, and return them to the stump. This is their home after all. One of the things that is so interesting about plein air painting is that you are sitting in one spot for so long that you get to experience the different sides of that place. You aren't just passing through. You see and experience so many interesting things when you immerse yourself in one spot. The mood of the forest changes dramatically whether the sun is shining or depending on the time of day. I'm almost finished here. I just need to put this tree in, but I'm just giving myself a minute to kind of get some blood flowing back in myself before I start doing that sort of committal final touches. All right, I'm gonna call this little painting done. It was a real pleasure to sit here, and it was a fairly warm day too, so I wasn't even really suffering. Other than having beetles crawl on me, I didn't enjoy that much. But I'm pretty happy with the way this one turned out. The weather was still nice, so I thought I'd make another painting. Just on the other side of this hill was another scene that caught my eye. I love the blue of the mountains. I love the way it looks against the green of the backlit trees. I love the straight trunks of the pines and the variation in the tree line. I sat up on a log It did rain a bit, but when the sun came out again, it backlit the pines and made the saplings in the foreground glow. I love nothing more than spending an entire day outside painting. It's just so refreshing and relaxing. I put this tree in and I didn't realize that I wasn't recording, so sorry about that. There will be more trees though. You see, the light is absolutely beautiful right now, but it's very tricky. Backlight is always the hardest type of light. It just kind of requires patience, as with everything else, but I'm not sure whether I'll get these weather conditions again while I'm up here because it's supposed to rain for like forever. It actually didn't end. The 14-day forecast just didn't ever have sun again, so we'll see. I had a larger 14 by 16 inch panel, and I wanted to get down my first wash of paint and get the panel covered in preparation for day 2. I'm just cutting in the color wash of my second painting, and hopefully it'll be nice like this again and I'll be able to come back. It's been an absolutely beautiful day, but I don't want to be walking back here in the dark. It's quite dark. It's about 1 kilometer back to the parking lot. So I'm just gonna work away here until I feel like the light's leaving. This is where I got to. The sun is on its way down, and it's time to walk back through the woods before it gets too dark. I want to thank you for joining me for this painting. I hope that you have a great week, and I hope you paint something beautiful.